I've always strived to have my kids during the warmer part of the year, but it always seems like no matter what, there is a period of time that is really cold when I'm having kids. And this year I did actually have kids a bit earlier than normal. Usually, like last year, I didn't have them until May and June, and I much prefer that. We are in the middle of April, and last week we had a huge snowstorm. The entire week was insanely cold, lots of snow, which we needed. So I'm not complaining about the moisture, but it has been really cold. Right now we have gale force wind. I'm partly protected by the barn. It's coming from that way, and so the barn is somewhat protecting me, but as you can see, it is just whipping around. My goats are behind me. They are enjoying the sunshine that is out there, and that is nice when the sun is at least shining. And I don't need you to eat my hair. You want to say hello? Say hello. Say hello. I'm a cutie. I'm a cutie that jumps around a lot, and a lot, and a lot. And eats, nibble, 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 skibbles, skibbles, skibbles. I have previously been asked in the past, would I put my kids, my newborn kids or young kids, under heat lamps? And normally my response would have been, well, if they're dried off and they're all fluffed up, they've had their colostrum, or they're nursing regularly, and they're in a dry and warm barn out of the wind, a barn that's that they can get into, that they're able to get out of the wind, out of any rain or snow and things like that, that they can snuggle up with mom, that yeah, there's no problem with them. And it depends on how cold we're talking too, but generally, if it's normal, colder temperatures, not insanely cold, that they would be fine. But after this year, I have changed my thoughts on that a bit. I have. You stinker. You're another cutie. Mm-hmm. You're distracting me. You're distracting me because you're so cute. So I've changed my perspective, and I've changed my advice on this. I haven't lost a kid in 5 years. So this is hard. And this is what happened. Right today, I did not see anything. Look what I just came upon. Well, I happened to look in the baby monitor, so I was about to get ready for bed, and I saw a little one. Delight was the one last year that had 4 babies, so she's had 3 so far. Thank you. The ears. Delight, your mom is still with us. Come in today. Good job, Mama. Good job. The other goats were being polite and gave Delight her space when I got out here. None of them were in here. They had given her her room, just her privacy, and then they just came in after I came in here because I didn't have Delight in her own stall. I'm telling you, I did not see any signs this year. I am so thankful it didn't happen last week when it was, well, not last week, like yesterday, and the day before, when it was negative, very below 0. Oh my goodness, I'm so thankful it didn't happen then. Right now, I believe it's about 30. So we're kind of warmer than normal. The first suckle of milk is so much fun to be a part of and see. That's sweet. This is happiness. Okay. 3 little bundles. We had the cat come in here. The cat, suddenly I heard this commotion. I'm like, what's going on? I turn around, the cat had like raced through the barn and caught a mouse. Delight was not happy. And all the other goats were on high alert, and then she kind of just took her attention off of the babies for a bit. It's like, cat, good job, but why no? Why right now? Opal, what are you doing? What's happening, Opal? What do you ladies think? I seriously think she's looking around for the cat. She is looking all around, like, where is that cat? And like, it's okay. There's no kitty. There's not. You can just relax, and there's no cat. And anyways, it was just a little kitty. The kitty can't hurt you. I know, but you just need to it's okay. It was unfortunate she came in. She just laid down. So it's 11:15, I think, and she just delivered the placenta. So I think she's done. Oh, there it is. How funny. Spaghetti. That was kind of weird, huh? Okay, probably that was maybe inappropriate. So there's 3 babies on the ground. They've all sucked. And I'm happy. I've got babies to snuggle. And their ears, they've got ears. Long ears. I'm so happy about their long ears. You just needed some snuggles. Where are you going? Thank you. You think? Aren't they the sweetest?
Yours are longer than my hair. The other ones were shorter.
Yeah, that's right. He's got long ears. We like long ears. Can we keep them all?
No.
Why not?
I want that one.
Oh, I want to
this
keep you
one.
all. It's showing that it's 41 degrees right now, but with the wind chill, it feels like 33, and that's just nippy. It's really cold. So these kids, they were born, and they were dried off. I had made sure every one of them had suckled. They had gotten their colostrum. They had been suckling throughout the first 24 hours of their lives. And I didn't see anything that was alarming or concerning. But that black one did die. So on their second day, we decided that evening to go out to eat. And so we were probably gone for a 2-hour period. And I checked them before, and then we came home, and before, because it was bedtime for the kids, by the time we got home, and I went out before laying my kids down, and while they were brushing teeth and getting ready, I just immediately came out to the goat barn to just make sure everything was okay and everyone was tucked in good. And when I got out here, it was alarming. I found the black one kind of lifeless. It was I could tell immediately that something was wrong. I immediately went to it, and it was very, very cold and very limp. And I valiantly tried to save that black one by putting it in a bag and getting into hot water in the sink. And you know, she was so cold that her temperature wouldn't even register on the thermometer. And, you know, I did everything I could to save her, and she still passed. And honestly, I don't know what happened. I didn't get a necropsy done, and in hindsight, I wish I would have. Now, what happened? What happened in that 2-hour period? I actually really don't know. and I didn't get a necropsy done, which in hindsight, I wish so much that I would have. I was just so mad and so discouraged at myself that I just wasn't thinking clearly. And with that necropsy, you know, you can learn a lot by having one done. They are fascinating. You know, I guess if you're queasy, they're kind of gruesome, but you can, if you have a good vet like mine, that wants to teach people and just help people learn, you can hopefully go and be a part of it and ask questions and watch and learn and see yourself and learn a lot by just going through it. In hindsight, as I've looked back on that, there are several things that I've thought about. And the first one is, like I said, I wish I would have gotten a necropsy done. And the second thing is that, you know, by talking about this, I think that it's possible that it could help you in the future. And I know for myself, it'll help me as I go forward. I am still gaining and soaking up as much information as I can year after year as I raise goats. And you are as well. And you will be for the rest of your life as you raise goats. And I guess the last thing as I've mulled this over and kept thinking about it is just, what happened? I want to know answers. Did she get stepped on? Did her mama or another goat, you know, lay on her? You know, sometimes goats are so pushy. Did one of them bang into her? Or, you know, what happened? I will never know that. Did she miss a meal? And because it was colder temperatures, that her body just couldn't handle missing a meal and it being cold. And it was just that perfect storm that quickly spiraled out of control. And so since then, with all of my other births that have happened, because that was my very first one of the season, I have set up little birthing stations where I have a little, it's actually a dog kennel that I have put together and put a light in, a heat lamp in on the very corner. And I've very, very, very made sure that it is very secure so it can't fall. That's very key. The real question, though, is do your baby goats lay eggs? Mine do. And so when the mama has her babies, she has her own little stall and her own place for the first day, 2 days, a week, however much is needed for that particular goat. And those babies know that that's their safe place. That is their home. They go back to that knowing that's where they take a nap. That's where they do life at the beginning, and it's warm, it's safe from the other goats, and so it just becomes their home at the beginning of their life. And then as they get on to being a week, 2 weeks old and older, they come out and they end up joining all the other kids. And then I have this area behind me where it's just the kid area. The mama goats can't get in there and just the babies can get in. And I've got heat lamps set up there as well where they can tuck themselves in under that, especially at night when it's much colder. And they can just go there where it's safe from the big goats. It's a warm place. They can all snuggle up together in a big pile. And I know that they at least have warmth if they need it. And you know, these lights, these heat lamps have been on a lot this spring. We have had a cold spring. And there have been a lot of just days where there is no sun, wind. We've had such a windy year. I have a little goat here that thinks he needs to nibble, skibble, nibble, nibble, nibble on everything. Ha! You're a nibbler. You're nibbling. Nibble, 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 nibble. No, don't eat me. Don't eat me. You're full of it. Look at you. You're full of it. So, as I was saying, you are interrupting. Okay, so they've been on a lot. And, you know, when, like today, I did actually turn them off because, for one, the babies aren't even in here. When that sun is out, you'd be amazed at how they soak up that sun. They are just radiating heat from the sun. It makes all the difference in the world. So the sun is out. It's mostly blue sky. So even though it's really windy, they're all outside taking their naps and just enjoying being outside. But so I did turn off the lights for today. So I've been kind of using that common sense of what makes sense for the situation, for the day, for the age of the goats, as far as when I keep them on and when I turn them off. So if it's in the 40s and the 50s and the sun's shining, I've been turning them off. If it's colder than that, I've been turning them on, especially if the goats, you can tell they're staying in the barn more because they are colder. They're wanting to be out of the weather more. So as you can see, I have my little dog igloo here with the lamp in it. But look at what we have here. The little babies right next to it. They've been snuggling up at night and being inside there when it's colder, but today they decided they were gonna sleep right next to it, snuggled up. Now the question then that I ask myself is, if I had had a heat lamp on for that first set of goats, would it have saved her? I don't know. I really don't. But I have to say that if it was the case where she did get chilled, she missed a meal, that perfect storm situation, that if she had been able to get under a heat lamp and just keep warm, her body warm, that if she had missed a meal, it may not have been as big of a deal. And so I guess that's where I go to. Again, we can't go into the past. We can't know everything. Sadly, I wish I knew everything. There's so many questions I have. But just that you have to know that baby goats really have a hard time, newborns and young goats have a hard time regulating their body temperatures. Their body is still trying to figure out what's going on in this big, big world. So a goat kid's rumen will start to function at 2 to 3 weeks of age. And so before that, they really have a hard time with just regulating their body temperature. They're not consuming foods and solids like an older goat is, and that all makes a difference in how they have energy, store energy, use energy, and live their lives. Having colder temperatures than what you're used to, and you know your area, you know your goats, trust yourself. If you're having colder temperatures and you're concerned, put out a heat lamp. It's not gonna hurt anything. Now, if you're my dad who is concerned about any output of electricity and can't stand it if the power bill is up even $1, then it would bother him. But for the rest of us, plugging in a heat lamp is worth it. It's not going to cost that much, and it'll be fine. Just plug it in for your ease of mind and just to make sure that your goats are warm and safe and healthy. And so if you were to ask me if I think that you should put out heat lamps for your baby goats, I would say there's a lot of factors to consider. And, one of them being, how old are the baby goats? How cold really is it? And what are your temperatures normally, and what are they used to? Another thing to consider is, are there lots of baby goats running around? So we have one little bottle baby. One of my mamas had 3 kids. It's her first year, and I was just concerned that one of them wasn't getting enough. So we started bottle feeding and supplementing that one, although that one's still, I see it continually sneaking in a suck whenever it can with mama. But we are supplementing it with some milk. But it's also causing problems because now it's like there's milk in other places now. I know these lovely humans bring me food and milk. What about this one? What about that one? And so it is causing some problems with the other mama goats, because if it's trying to sneak in and get a slurp with the other mamas, that mama's not going to be happy with that baby and is going to walk away. And so then her kids might not get the meal that they needed. And so those are the things to just consider and be aware of, that things like that can happen in a situation where there's more goats, there's more baby goats running around, that may be a part of a factor that might be going on, and just to consider. Another thing is, another question to ask in this whole process is, are you going to be around? Are you going to be checking on them regularly? Can you? Does your job, your life afford you to be able to step out and check on your kids several times during the day? You know, if you go to work at 8 o'clock and you don't get home until 5, 6, 7, or 8, or, you know, you just have a daytime job and you can't check them for hours on end, maybe it would be best to consider putting out that heat lamp just to know that while you're gone, they at least have some warmth. So see, there's a lot of factors to consider. There's lots of things to think about, but if putting out a heat lamp makes you feel better, then do it. Just remember to make double, triple, quadruple sure that you have it secured extra good, because heat lamps can be dangerous in a barn. We do not want that horror story where the barn burns down because of a heat lamp. So we have recently gotten this heat lamp from Premier One. I'm very impressed with it. Previously we've had ones like this, and I do still have a couple of these, but honestly these are junk. From my experience, they get really wiggly up here, no matter, like this right, see, look, this is already loose, and we just got this to get us through the cold spell because these didn't come as quickly as I thought they would. But this right here is junk. They I don't know what, they don't make things like they used to, but I do not like these because they're just, you spend the $15 and it's not worth it, because they will break very easily, and then you have a wiggly light bulb in there that isn't able to gain traction and get screwed in enough, and it's just very frustrating because then you've wasted your money. So I am very impressed with this. First of all, they did not skimp on the cord. This cord, I guess I didn't measure how long it was, and I don't remember what it said when I bought it, but it's long, like extra long. Like it's like probably 2 or 3 times longer than this one. That's amazing, right? To have a cord that can reach, and you know, don't have to have an extension cord potentially. I mean, we have now these plug-ins all the way around the barn now, but plug-ins and long cords are very helpful. Then it also has this, where if it were to fall, this would help it protect it a bit. It also keeps the babies, you know, from actually touching that hot bulb with their noses or their backs. Just do be aware that if your baby is able to get right up under this and be like trapping the heat with its body, there will be some meltage. This would melt and obviously harm the baby as well. So just know, it got really dark. So just know that you don't want to have your babies right under this, because you don't want to melt this. I'm thankful that this also has this nice little place that you can tie a rope to it, so, or twine, of course. So you can tie it securely up so it's not just hanging from the cord itself. And so this is just, I got 3 of these, and I'll be using, I'm not going to be using these old ones anymore. And I will put this one away, get the other ones set up, and they'll just be ready for the babies when I need them. So I just hope that this gives you some food for thought for your little ones. We want to raise healthy goats. We want to bring healthy goats into the world. We want to keep them healthy and happy, give them a good life, and keep them warm and safe. So I hope this gives you food for thought to think about. Let me know your preference and what you do, and what you would do in situations like this when it's just a little bit cold for our liking. I know that I can say I'm ready for some warm weather. We need rain, we need moisture, but I am ready for some warm weather with no wind. So I'm saying bring on spring, bring on summer, just also bring the moisture with it. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying those goats, and I just love hanging out with you. So have a great day. We'll see you in that next video.